Tom Lee. Is Tom Lee going bearish? Holy smokers, that's no joke, as we're going to find that out today in this video. One video and one video only for me to react to this one. A dovish Fed pivot next week could see investors moving out of FANG stock, says Tom Lee. So I want to hear what he has to say in regards to this. I mean, the last time I kind of heard Tom Lee with a bearish tone, to be honest, was after SVB went down. He definitely sounded very bearish at that given moment. Obviously, we know everything turned out fine. So this is intriguing. I'm looking forward to this one. I appreciate everybody joining me as always. By the way, the Plaid. I had to get new tires for the Plaid last week, okay? How much do you think those cost? After tax, okay? Take a guess, put it down in the comment section. 4 new tires for the Plaid after tax, okay? I'll tell you at the end of this video how much they actually cost, okay? I was like, what? Are you kidding me? This sounds ridiculous, okay? Alrighty, guys, let's get into this.
With our first guest. He's the man the Bears love to hate. Fundstrat's Tom Lee. The Dow isn't up. It looks like maybe the Dow closed higher by like 3.3 points. That's about the closest I've ever seen it. Yeah, I mean, there it is. Tom Lee, so let's look ahead to next week, because that's when the action gets started again. I wonder if it's a pretty key test next week for market breadth, especially.
I don't know where that thunder came from. Either that was thunder or Oppenheimer just happened on the strip. I don't know what. I think it's thunder.
Since this week, we had a pretty strong start and a relatively weak finish. Earnings from Danaher next week, Visa, Coke and Boeing, Mondelez Thursday. Are those important?
Yeah. I mean, earnings really matter because, one, there's a lot of concern that,
the reason I'm laughing at that is like he just named off like a bunch of huge market cap companies, and that doesn't matter if they report earnings. Like, in all due respect, Mr. John Fort, yes, they do matter.
Fed hikes have slowed the economy, and our company's able to deliver numbers and then keep guidance. That's going to matter a lot. But of course, as you know, there's a huge macro event next week as well.
Yes, of course, that Fed decision. Something in your notes, though, made me raise an eyebrow. You say we also have to recognize stocks have advanced sharply in the past month, so profit-taking is healthy. Tom, profit-taking is healthy here?
Yeah, I think profit-taking is healthy because I think that's going to be part of the investor mindset. Investors who've been involved with tech and FANG are enjoying pretty stupendous returns year to date. Now, it doesn't mean that when they take profits, they have to necessarily exit the market. But to me, next week is a story of, well, if the Fed surprises us in a way.
Before he goes further here, okay, that is a big statement in itself that Tom Lee is considering, basically investors should take some profits. Now, let's be clear, he's not saying sell out of everything or sell out all your stocks or something like that, right? But he is saying take some profits. So I think that is intriguing point in itself for Tom Lee to say that.
Because it's more of a dovish pause. I think investors are going to look for ways to sort of find stocks that rise on easing financial conditions, and they may not come back to the FANG. They might stick with tech, but they might broaden out into industrials and financials. So yes, profit-taking, but doesn't mean the market has to go down.
And to your point, we did see the NASDAQ take a breather today. We did see some of those and this week, the big cap tech names in general sell off, in part because of earnings over the last couple of days with Netflix and Tesla, this rotation.
No, they did not sell off because of earnings, okay? That is such a bunch of baloney, okay? They did not sell off because of earnings. You could say they sold off because of rotation of money, maybe because the Qs are rebalancing. You could make a lot of arguments on why tech stocks sold off. But to be very clear, it was not because of earnings. I hear rain. That's exciting. This is Vegas. We get psyched when it rains. Yeah, baby, rain. Okay? No. Tesla beat on margins. They beat on revenues. They beat on EPS. No, okay? Netflix beat by like 3x subscribers. I'm excited, okay? I can't even be in a bad mood right now. It is pouring outside. That makes me happy. Oh my gosh. I got to pause the video. I got to go see this. This is amazing. We haven't seen rain in years. Alrighty, folks, we're doing the rest of this video with the garage open, okay? The rest of this video with the garage open. That smell, that rain smell, man, we never smell that here in Vegas, man. Give us the rain. Downpour on us. Oh, Lordy, we need it.
One of the other questions that's getting raised right now is if we're overbought and we're due for a pullback or even a correction. Your thoughts?
I mean, the market's definitely overbought. We're 13% above the 200-day moving average. In the past, that's a sign of a strong market, but it is also a market that's vulnerable to bad news. So I'm kind of sympathetic to the view that there are signs of a correction. That's what Mark Newton, our technician, wants us to be alert to. But on the flip side, I think there are too many who are quickly calling this a top, and that puts me in the camp that we might, whatever weakness we have, may end up proving to be shallow, especially given we have a huge FOMC decision next week.
Expectation that we're going to see another rate hike next week. And I guess just as importantly, given the fact
Before
that
we go into that, there's just a lot of there's just a lot of excuses to take profits in the stock market right now. Like, people are still very uncertain of the market. They've been uncertain of the market the whole year. Obviously, we know what happened in 2022 is a disaster of a year for the markets, right? And so I think this entire year, people have just been looking for reasons to take profits, and they've done it. Every time they've been wrong, by the way. Every profit you've taken so far this year has been a poor financial decision. Every single one, unless you somehow sold this stock at a top, which isn't so realistic, right? And so that's just been something that's going on, but it's just people are looking for reasons. Any reason to tell me to sell stocks, and people are doing it right now because that's what they're looking to do. That's just, that's the market we're in right now.
we have data like PCE at the end of the week, what does that mean for the disinflation narrative that is playing out in the market? And I know you've been speaking to.
I do think investors are still skeptical that there's disinflation. We have many conversations with our institutional investor clients, and they talk about how inflation is going to be sticky because of wages, and it might stick at 4% for far longer. But we're finding the glide path to core inflation and core PCE, could actually undershoot what a lot of people think over the next few months. And so I think that's one of the upside stories, that as soon as inflation softens at that pace, Fed officials themselves can actually start to breathe easier. And I think it causes many investors to rethink higher for longer.
So you say a couple 100 points worth of a correction. Well, it's not really a correction, I guess, if it's only a couple 100 points in the S&P, 5%. We'd need more than that for it to be technically a correction. But, a pullback of around 5% would be possible. Do you recommend rotating into some of those other names, cyclicals, versus the larger tech names that have done so well this year?
Yes, to an extent. I think it's important to stick with groups that are showing strength because we know that those are going to be groups that could end up having dip buyers. So that would put industrials, financials, I think that thing in energy, of course. But what makes us a little bit wary is some of the strength this week has been in the defensives. And I wonder if that's more of a reflexive action. But, if the defensives keep strengthening John, that would put us, put the market more likely into a correction camp. But I don't think we're at that point yet.
Yeah, interesting thoughts by Tom Lee there. In order to take profits, you just got to be in a really, really cash poor position, and you need it like let's say you have no cash literally right now. You're all invested. Okay, I can understand. Sell 5% or 10% of your stocks to build up a little cash pile, just in case the market tanks or something like that, right? But if you've got some cash around, let's say you're 10, 20% cash, or especially if you're a higher number than that, there's no reason to take profits, right? If you really believe in these companies for long term. Now, if you're a short-term trader in and out of these stocks, or you own some stock that you don't believe in long term, you change your bullish thesis on it, whole different ball game. But outside of that, I'm in no rush to sell any of my stocks. Meta's reporting this week. Do you think I want to sell Meta at whatever it's at, 296 or whatever it's trading at right now? No. If Meta goes down to 270, great. I'll buy the flip and flapjack and dip as I did last year, right? And that obviously is paying off handsomely. If Meta goes up huge, which I think there's more upside to potentially Meta, and I spoke about that in my main channel video here today, right? If Meta goes up a bunch, let's say Meta goes to 330, 340, 350 after earnings, am I selling? No way, not even close, okay? So, appreciate everybody joining me as always. Thanks so much for being subscribed, folks. I believe we're now over 31 1,000 subscribers on the channel. I appreciate y'all being here as always. And also, if you're looking to apply to join my private group this week and download everything I got up here directly to your brain, then check out the pinned comment down there. That'll be to fill out an application. We'll be able to chat with you and see if you're a good fit for the private group or not. Much love, and have a great rainy day.